Think about this bracha, this havdalla ben kodesh l'chol. Blessed are you who distinguishes between the mundane and the holy. And I was doing my solace series, my sound healing guided meditation. Yesterday, a bunch of sessions for Global Day of Unplugging and Repair of the World. And Heather Preet, the mindfulness facilitator, UCLA certified, one of the top people at the Den Meditation in La Brea. And she was talking about super mundane, and this constriction and all this stuff. And it made me think of this bracha. And really that it's so important to be able to distinguish between those two, but understanding this idea also that prior to receiving the Torah, the mundane or the inanimate, these were things that couldn't be elevated. But once we received the Torah, then we were able to tap into this way to actually infuse holiness into these objects that would seem devoid of it. So when we're separating it, we also have to understand and distinguish between the things that we're not even elevating and we can't, and maybe we should not put so much energy into that, but rather if we can elevate it or try to move toward the holiness. And with Shabbat, of course, and there's the story of the lost princess, Rabbi Nachman, with the 6 sons, and the seventh is the princess, is really representing the Shekhinah, or Knesset Israel. And she goes into exile, and the whole story is the viceroy trying to find the Shekhinah, trying to find the lost princess, and everyone's saying that it does not exist. She doesn't exist. And that's what it feels like in this world, because we feel so far from the clarity and the revelation of godliness and light. So we have to keep trying to search for it. And we read Parshat Zachor, this Shabbat, which says, Asher karcha b'derech. It's this idea, this nation and notion, Amalek, that we're supposed to rid ourselves of. So in terms of the notion, it's this safek, this doubt. Asher karcha b'derech. They basically surprised us or came along the way. And I'm not going to go into all the things they did because it's pretty graphic and disgusting. But it's also this idea, karcha, kerach, ice, that they cooled us off also. And this could apply to anything. When you're super excited about something, especially when it's something holy or something that you actually should be doing, whether it's, a relationship and it's something that could be sacred. This idea of asher karcha b'derech, that something comes along and cools you off to that which you should still be on fire for. And of course, avodat Hashem, being connected and in alignment. So this idea of Amalek coming, or just this other thing that always comes in to take us away from alignment. So we have to be cognizant of that and think of what is the thing that keeps me on fire for that which I feel most connected to and most elevated in that state. Whether it's a spiritual discipline, whether it's waking up every morning, meditating, praying, learning Torah, especially when you're learning Torah, something that you super connect with. So that keeps you on fire. It keeps you away from that idea of Amalek cooling you off from that, right? So you have to reignite. And the pasuk that we started, that I was talking about from the earlier from this Torah portion of the olive oil crushed for illumination, and thinking about this spreading this light, how do we move from that constriction or that space of, feeling like we're that olive that's getting crushed, and all the things that happen to that for the process of the olive oil to bring about this light. So it's this idea of figuring out how we could be in a state of not being cooled off from the things that bring us these elevated states, this feeling of connection, this tapping into the spirit and to the soul, and further away from just the physical. And sometimes people are just stuck in this reality that they think is a reality of the physical, of the body, of the things that are this world, not realizing that this is a simulation and we can rise above that. And the sixth Lubavitch Rebbe said that at the destruction of the second Beit HaMikdash, that the Shekhinah went into exile and that the body went into exile as well, but that the soul never went into exile. So that's connected to the full alignment, to the redemption. And when we tap into that, then we can go on to this journey of the lost princess and start to find and realize that she was never lost, that we could actually find this princess. Shavua Tov. Love you guys.